can we stop, ladies and gents? Can we stop including title cards or geographical location cards? We're in, we're in Paris as the Eiffel Tower just walks past, and then a character doesn't walk past, camera pans past, then a character goes, I thought we were in Paris. No, we're actually in Gooseville or something like that, just outside of Paris. What was the point in the title card, mate? What are you doing? Right, welcome to the channel. Old Guard. This is going to be my non-spoiler review, and then I'll give you fair warning and we'll touch on spoilers. This was released on Netflix. Starred some good people. Obviously, primarily, you can see right here, somewhere over here, depending on left, right, and all that good stuff. Charlize Theron, right? I've taken a look at some of the general stars, like the overall ratings and stuff like that. I didn't hate the film. I'm a little bit surprised that it's getting like nearly 7 out of 10 on IMDb and things like this. Genuinely surprised. And I didn't hate it at all, but I just didn't think it was particularly amazing. I watched it and I was engaged, and I thought it was pretty reasonable for what it was. But I just didn't. It wasn't as awesome as it could have been, and it was let down by some really silly mistakes, basically just treating the audience like absolute idiots. And once you notice it, it's difficult to never notice it again. And I'm going to touch on it. I'm going to ruin your lives, because you're always going to notice it, and you're always going to think that the directors and the writers are condescending to you. So, what is this about, right? So, the overall synopsis is a group of mercenaries, all centuries old, they're immortal, and they have the ability to heal themselves. Duh, that's immortal. Discover someone is onto their secret, and then they must fight to protect their freedom. That's basically it, right? Charlize Theron plays Andy, or Andromeda, and she's the leader of the group. I felt like her acting was good. Charlize Theron's, you either love her or you hate her, right? And I don't hate her at all. I think she's can be pretty decent in stuff. But in this, it felt like she settled into the role, which could be two things. She could have actually settled into the role and, got more immersed into the character as the shooting went on, dependent on how they shot the film. Or she's written in a way that she is quite unlikable from the get-go, and then you kind of warm to her further down the line. But I don't think that's the case, because there are some emotional beats where you do go, oh yeah, no, I should feel something for this woman right now, but I didn't really until we start to get towards the end of the film, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm on board now. So I didn't hate it. Again, Andy, played by Charlize Theron, did very well. Did very well. We had Kiki Lane, I think, who plays Niall Freeman, who is sort of, again, without spoilers, but basically new, fresh face to the group. Liked her character, but threw out some really odd red flags, and I'll touch on it in spoilers, because I've got a whole list of things which were super dumb. And I hope you'll stay for that opening part, because if you watch this film, you'll go, oh yeah, no, that was really dumb. Why was that there? So we had Matthias Schoner, who played... No, sorry, I got that. Yeah, no, yeah, I got that right. Who played Brooker in the film. He was good. I actually liked him. I think he was a really good character. We had Marwan Kenzari and Luca Marinelli. So actually quite like a diverse cast in terms of, country of origin, the actors. And they were all pretty decent. Now, it's like it's a 2-hour film, right? It's a 2-hour film, and it's made, produced by Skydance, right? Skydance are really not very good at the moment, and I don't know when this was actually made. Its initial release was quite literally 2 days ago, but I don't know when it was made. Skydance, obviously, renowned for their bad Terminator decisions. It wasn't terrible, but it feels like an older film than it should, if that makes sense. So I don't know when this was shot. I need to do a bit of digging to figure that out, but it feels old. And it shouldn't. It was written by Greg Rucka and directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, which is actually based on The Old Guard, which was by Greg Rucka. So he adapted it for the screenplay. He wrote the script, And you would think you know, he knows the property, right? Like it is his property, so you'd think it would be good. But it just felt really old, not in any good ways. And now I know a lot of people will probably call for some of the sort of quotas that they chucked in there and stuff like this. And I don't know, I'm not familiar with the old guard, so I don't want to touch on it. But I will say this, that if anyone is saying that, I disagree. Like, I thought that actually how they did all of the all-inclusive element to this film, i.e. Two of the Immortals were, you know, long-term lovers, right? They were in love for centuries. I actually quite liked it. I thought it was quite touching. But some people will probably call out Netflix for, you know, LGBTQ inclusion. But I really didn't mind it. It was fine. It worked. It was quite touching, actually. Those weren't like the biggest grievances I had with this film. There was some really, really dumb decisions. So let's get to the basics of it, right? So pacing was good. I enjoyed the pacing. 2 hours, it didn't fly by, but it didn't drag, right? I would give it like maybe a 5 out of 10 on pacing. It was fine. The stunt choreography was really lacking, especially when Netflix has the likes of Extraction. You're inevitably going to compare it, you know, to another property that was quite large, was quite anticipated, with a big or a bigger actor. You're obviously going to compare it, and it was really, really lacking. It was not very good. By comparison, standalone, yeah, fine. But again, it feels older than it should, and that's the problem, and that's part of it, right? The stunt choreography felt a lot older than it should be, like an older film, something released maybe, you know, early 2000s, something quite basic, something quite, you know, TV movie-esque. That's what it felt like, and it was a shame because they could have done a lot more with it. They could, oh boy, could they have done a lot more with it. You got these immortal characters. You could have so much fun with this, and you didn't. And that's where we kind of get to, you know, the crux of this film, right? They include lots of high-name tracks. You know, there's even like Khalid and stuff like this, right? Like high-name music tracks. And you think, right, well, did you spend all of your budget on music licensing and not so much on the script and stunt coordinators? That's where, you know, basically it just ended up to be a movie which looked like it was from the 2000s. And it was a shame. And actually, it's sort of insulting because some of the movies from the 2000s were somewhat better than this. So, like, all in all, like, it's just fine. It's a good way to spend 2 hours. I can't highly recommend it. It was just fine. I didn't hate it, though. This is the problem. And this is probably one of the worst... I hate reviews like this. Because if you love something, you can sing its praises. And you go, yes! And if you hate something, you can absolutely crap all over it, right? Like, I think I bitched and moaned about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker for like nearly 20 minutes. And then I did like a 2-hour live stream talking about it as well. Because I absolutely hated it. But when a movie is just fine... They're some of the most boring reviews. So, hold your horses. We're going to touch on some of the most offensive parts to the film. Can we stop, ladies and gents? Can we stop including title cards or geographical location cards? We're in, you know, we're in Paris as the Eiffel Tower just walks past, and then a character doesn't walk past. Camera pans past. Then a character goes, I thought we were in Paris. No, we're actually in Gooseville or something like that, just outside of Paris. What was the point in the title card, mate? What are you doing? Seriously? Afghanistan, right? They go to Afghanistan. They're like, yeah, Afghanistan. I'm like, well, I can see that. Like, it's fairly obvious we're in war-torn... you know, the Middle East. Like, it's pretty apparent, right? Due to what they're all wearing, what they're speaking, how they're saying. Like, it's fairly obvious. What are you doing? And then they're like, London, England. You're like, well, yeah, clearly. Like, you're just going past Big Ben. Like, it's Westminster Bridge. Like, what are you doing? What? Marrakesh, right? They're in Marrakesh. Oh, my God, they're in Marrakesh. Comes up. It comes up in Marrakesh. And then characters walk past. And who's in the background going, smile, say Marrakesh? And you're like, please. Like, who thought this? Who thought of that? Come on. Behave. Like, come on now. Anyway, so that's really offensive because you are, and this is the thing, once you notice it, you always notice it. Whenever they include geographical cards, always keep an eye out, ladies and gents, for whether there's like any sign of where they actually are in dialogue or in, you know, just anything that you could pick up on outside of the title card. The title card's there for morons, but not everyone's an idiot. And if they literally say they're in Paris, fuck me. Like, are you having a laugh? Seriously? Anyway, so that was really, really quite offensive, and it really annoys me. Secondly, I'm not familiar with the US Marines, but do they have exclusively female units? Do they? Do they really? This was news to me. I didn't really know that. Apparently they got exclusive female units in the US Marines. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. But I found that very surprising, ladies and gents. Oh, it was just a bit weird. It's very, very disengaging when you're watching this. You're like, oh, Christ. Anyway, so like I said, I don't hate the film. It was just middling. It was fine. The gore was fine, some dodgy effects here and there, some wonky practical here and there. The camera work was fine. Like, all of these things you look at and you go, well, it looks fine. There's nothing glaring, there's nothing outrightly abusive to my eyes and my ears and all this stuff. I think they spent a little bit too much money on the music licensing, a little bit too much money on Charlize Theron, and a little less, too little money on the script, which could have been better. But hey, look. As it stands, look, it's a 2-hour movie. Watch it with some beer and some treats, whatever. It's fine. Like, it's not the best thing ever. It's fine. I'd love to hear your thoughts though. If you have seen it, please do let me know down below in the comment section. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. It is Sunday. I am having some treats. Clearly, I'm a little bit pepped up on. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please do let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, with Mr. H, take care.